everybody, welcome to the channel for a new battle report. I have a practice game for you, another one before ETC. I had a go at the KOE list from Scrub from Germany, and it was played by one of the teammates from Switzerland. So you know already my list. This is a Scrub list for this year. So basically, it has a lot of tools in the list. You have a couple of characters. So we have a Duke, who is going to be a BSB within the unit of Realm, or can also be in the court, for example, Knight. Depending on the match, then we have the Folk Hero with a solo character, pretty fighty, not so expensive. Really like this piece, the Folk Hero, really cheap, can go quickly in the flank and lock you with this special weapon that does the area attack. So really nice idea here. Then the Queen adds some shots and spells. He has a Paladin who is also fighty and very cheap. Again, an apprentice of Shamanism that can give him a useful spell and also act as emergency chaff. One unit of Realm Knight. Then he has Mounted Sergeant, unit of 8. First block of infantry, 40 Lowborn Levies. Then he has second block of infantry, Castle Guard 24 with a Relentless Banner. Knight of the Court, unit of 8. 2 Trebs. Unit of hooded men with longbows, and 2 unit of naiads, one with the champion. So a lot of tools, a lot of units in the list. As you can see, the magical setup is pretty decent. You notice that he's playing no mass druidism or something very expensive, but a lot of small casters. And then he has 2 spells on his Fey Knight, then he has 2 spells on the Queen, the spell from the Damsel, and then 2 spells of the Naiad. So it's definitely quite good. We were trying out all the ground on Surging Tides. Quickly on the matchup analysis, so definitely starting is an advantage on this secondary, I feel. So all the ground, because you can gain board control. So it's only when you're not feeling quite good about the matchup, I feel, that you might want to play second to place more scoring in the middle. But when you feel that you have your chances, you often would prepare to take first turn. At least that's my approach. Kingdom of Equitaine, charge range, infantry ranks means trouble for my infantry, especially in mix, how should I say, in conjunction with the trebuchet. Because basically, if it hit with the trebs, it's going to make my blocks less able to be steadfast under Infernal Brand against his units that have big ranks. So that could be definitely an issue, and it's like a clock ticking until I get hit too much by the trap. So it's putting pressure on me for getting into the right position before I suffer too much with my infantry block. Fast single models, not easy to cover. A lot of menace in the Kingdom of Equitaine army, which makes it not so easy to cover, especially when you're playing in the middle. You might have to cover both flanks, which is not something you like to do, and you don't want to get flanked. Overlord felt a strong piece in the matchup because it's not threatened by his range damage, and it's definitely very good against his characters because they are cheap characters, but not so fighty as my Overlord. So definitely something I need to build on. Overall, I felt the matchup, I don't know if maybe the negative is too strong, but I don't like the variance in this matchup. Because if he hits too much with the traps, it could get very dangerous for me. And I feel in combination with all the ground, that might be a secondary objective where he would be the strongest against me. That's also why I picked this one, to really get a good feeling about the matchup. I feel that overall it's not a matchup I would like to play, but we will see how that goes. So deployment wise, I won all 4 sides. I gave him the house, which is in the middle, so that makes totally sense. He then dropped for first turn, which also makes sense. We have 2 traps in the back. We have the Court Knight in the left, the Castle Guard here. Then he plays here in the front, but they're going to move back afterwards. That's the unit of Hooded Men. We have the Realm Knight, General in the middle. That's the Lowborn Levies. Next to them, Sergeant, unit of Naiad with Magician. And then scouting here forward is the other unit of Naiad. That's going to be mainly Chaff. And on the right here, you have the Heraldic Steed that is pushing to try to exploit one of my deployment mistakes. But we will talk about that in a second. My counter deployment. So first, I covered the position for the Heraldic Steed to not move out of my line of sight. I placed both single model in the flank, Giant in the left, Overlord in the right, covering all the angles together with Incarnate. And then in the middle, all my scoring units, so Truck Anointed, Bastion, Vassal Levies, Blunderbuss, and then Lugars in the left using the field. So basically, what I didn't figure out straight away is the fact that he could scout here and then push forward and chaff me very effectively on his turn 1, which allows then his heraldic steed to get into a nice spot, as you will see right now. And I could have easily countered that by just changing the position of those 2 units, I feel. So not so well anticipated, but that puts me in pressure and will force me to react. And he's getting into aggressive position, so everything pushes forward. He's covering for the moment the angle of my giant. That's going to be annoying for him on the left flank. In the magic phase, he got +1 resilience on the cavalry. He then got an hereditary, and he only make a partial hit with his trebuchet, which kill 3 guys within the Lugars. And that's it. My turn 1. I charge with Stroke Anointed his Naiad. I elected to move the Incarnate back, which allows me to allow him only, which gives him only a very long charge, I think on the 9 Swift or 10 Swift. So pretty long, and then I have the Overlord out of line of sight. I know that sometimes you say me it doesn't look like in the picture. It's because I'm using the wide angle picture mode, which allows me to take the whole board in one picture, which is really important, I think the most important. But then it changed a bit the perspective, which looks more like a square than a rectangle table. So that's why it looks strange sometimes. But yeah, it's out of line of sight here, looking at everything. So if you charge me, I can counter charge in the back. We will see how that goes in the middle. I move slightly back. I don't want to get charged too soon, so we will see how that goes. We don't need to go in the middle of the map right now because of all the ground. Starting to move to the side with the giant, only leaving him with a very long charge. I'm continuing to try to move to the left, force him to look at me and then be disturbed and not come in the middle of the map. In the magic phase, I get Gravecall on his character. So again, I was able to get a line of sight here with the Bastion, even if it doesn't look like. But I get a boosted Gravecall. I was quite excited. 2d6 strength 6. He has, I think, a 2 up, so it would be a 5 up. And maybe put +1 more odd save, so it could be 5 up. But I have good odds of taking him, but I did 0 wound. Then I got a Rot Within somewhere, and shooting. I managed to do 1 wound to his hero with the Bastion, and that's it. So yeah, not so great. Expected more from that. That's the odd of the combat. So we have Naiad striking before me with a couple of grind, strength 3, AP 3 at my anointed. Should do 1 wound on average. And as you can see for my anointed, they should do between total 3 and 4 wounds. So that's what they should do between impact, stomp, and 7 attack strength 7. So it should be winning by a bunch. It happens like it should be. 4 wounds to 1, he broke, and I elected to pursue. But I didn't catch him on Swift Stride, which then after that doesn't allow him to get a lot of charge options. He has only his general, it can go to my flank. But then I was well set up to basically eat whatever would charge him. So I felt happy with that. And I was really eager to get rid of the chaff. But I didn't. So his turn, he moves, fly over me with the Heraldic Steed, which is going to be annoying. I really wanted to avoid that. He has 2 units to score the middle. Turns around with the Court Knight ready to engage here, but doesn't want to look anymore at my giant. And the rest here moves out of line of sight of my Overlord. So slightly back. In the magic phase, he gets crying on the Realm Knight. And then the Trebuchet, one of them, makes a misfire and can't shoot anymore for the rest of the game. Which is huge. Which is definitely a huge moment in the game. The other one, I don't remember if he will hit or not, but that's disappointing for him, definitely. My turn 2. I charge again on the Naiads, expecting to get rid of them. Then I move back here on his back line with my Overlord to put pressure on him. And again, in a position where I would want to eat whatever would charge my Anointed. Turn around the Bastion to shoot at the Heraldic Steed. I need to get rid of him. I cannot have this guy in my back line. That's impossible. I push my giant to the flank. I'm out of line of sight of the court, looking at him, pushing those guys to score the middle as well as the vassals. So that's 2 against 2, which is a tie for this round. And basically what I set up is I have flee pass. So basically I have a flee pass, so this unit would most likely flee on the second charge. One charge alone wouldn't be enough, and then I have a counter charge for my giant, but 2 of them would break me, so I would need to flee. If I flee the second one, what are his option? He has double 6 with the infantry and a pretty long charge with the cavalry, and the giant has line of sight, and I'm within BSB. So I would be steadfast, I would have a counter charge from the giant, so I'm not in trouble at all. And if he takes the bait and charge me, it's a failed charge and it's going to expose my his flanks to my giant. So I'm feeling quite okay about the situation here. I chaff the realm, so that allows my bastion to turn around and not be threatened by anything. And those guys just reform and stay pretty much far away. Like I said at the beginning, they would have been way better on the right flank. In the magic phase, got a breast weapon, and between all my shooting and the breast weapon, I killed the heraldic steed, so that's something done. Nothing else. Yeah, nothing else. And close combat. This time I roll a bit lower, and I think he rolled a bit better. Yeah, he did 2 wounds on my anointed last turn, so he did a bit better. But he sticks the test this time, so he's still here. I didn't do much. Yeah, I think I did only like a wound or 2, but nothing crazy this time. And he managed to do 2 wounds to me again. So I'm stuck in a fight that I don't like. I would have been happy to be free. But if I'm free this turn, I'm seeing that I could potentially pursue here, get into charges. So I have a lot of things that I like. But for that, I need my anointed to shine. And especially his grind not to shine. His turn 3 moves back out of my line of sight. The Fey Knight as well. So I'm zoning a lot of stuff. He double charge into my infantry who fled over everybody. I passes the 9 rollable, and then he redirect on double 6 for those guys, and those guys didn't redirect. So I have a charge for the giant, which will be exciting. He charged me with the infantry on the flank of those guys and just turned around the realm to zone me in the middle. In the magic phase, he got yeah, I think he failed. Yeah, these guys, I think they failed the redirection check. Can that be? No, I think he redirect only 1 time and failed charge. Anyway, close magic, he failed the wheel turn. He got hereditary with 3 dice against 4. And then shooting, he killed 3 Lugars with the trebuchet that remains. This here, I think he checks on a 6 rollable and passed. And this one here, he elected to restrain and turn around to try to block me. Those guys fled. I think he did this combat first. Maybe. I think so. And he let those guys flee. Yeah. My turn 3. So I'm still stuck in combat here. Yeah, he did this turn. He did only 1 wound. And I did a couple of wounds. He has a 6 rollable. And he passed the check. Which was disappointing because, like I said, I could have potentially pursued him. I could have got a free pivot before my turn. Get a charge into something. So I had a lot of options. So that's how it is. Yeah, he's my turn 3. What do we have? So my overlord moves into a good position here in the flank to threaten the main unit. My giant takes the charge against Knight of the Court. He cannot flee. He cannot flee at all. Has to stay. Which allows me to give me leadership 8 to those guys that were fleeing, and they get to rally and Konga chaff this unit. While being in the middle, I turn around the bastion, but I'm still too far, so it's going to get 2 scoring units against my 1, so it's still enough for him to score and get 1-0. I push forward the Lugars, try to get one of those combat later, but really lucky here to rally and then get in range to chaff both the infantry unit and the knight boss. So that was really nice, and then I can shoot them this turn with the bastion. My incarnate can move a bit forward but continue to zone him on the right flank. Here we're still stuck. Here I rallied those guys. In my magic phase, I'm going to get, let me tell you, I'm going to get Grave Call on 3 dice, which is going to fail. It's 65% chance, but this time fail. I think I was on a small card maybe. And I think so. And I got before that big hereditary on the close combat here. So at least that's that. Yeah, what will then happen? We have this combat. I'm going to kill one. It's going to be steadfast. So it's going to be still here and pass this check, but not the reform check, which is nice. The Naiad here are doing wounds. I don't remember exactly. We will see what's left after that. yeah, we will see what's next. Yeah, they kill, that's this turn. So they kill my anointed. So with, I think he had, now there is 4 naiads. He had like 3 naiads, so like 6 grinds. And he rolled 4 6s and kill my 2 anointed outright. I was really in shock. So that happened. I charged them 2 times with 3 anointed that are worth double their point, but they're still able to escape alive. So on his turn, he's able then to charge with the 2 remaining naiads. Is that 2 naiads? Maybe only 2 naiads even? I don't know. He charged me with naiads, charged me with the paladin, and also the general, but general fails. Moves those guys a bit forward. He charged the naiad with the champion against my overlord to stick me. Here charge the chaff and move the realm back slightly, but still contesting. Use the chaff to this unit to basically chaff my bastion. In the magic phase, it's going to get +2 weapon skill on the paladin, which I don't care because he will do wounds. Maybe he will take them, but that's going to take time. And in the meantime, I'm in strong position in the rest of the map. So you take that. On the left, I will block the heal. I think that was my priority in magic. And this time he's going to fail his check. I think it was a steadfast on the 7. So he should have given them leadership 9 with the token. He could have done that with a blessing token, but he didn't do. And then he broke, which allows me to pursue, catch him, end up here, and then it's my turn. He got rid of them, I think, turn rounds, and he did some wounds. He broke from combat, had to charge a flank, but I was able to do enough wounds to make him fail the check, and I just restrain. My turn 4, I double charge the flank, so that's very nice. I push, as you see, this time he hit with the trap and did some more wounds. I was able to march here in front to minimize chaff them, score the middle. I charge with the bastion, so this unit should be away. And then I have 2 against his 2 for this turn. Push those guards forward also to shoot him. And the vassal that fled are here. He was still stuck in combat. I was unable to kill the 2 naiad with my incarnate. So that was very disappointing. But again, it doesn't matter that much if he takes the incarnate. Magic phase got big hereditary in the close combat in the middle. I also got a breast weapon with 4 dice against 5 dice. So that's really nice, and the rot within somewhere. So yeah, that's really nice. But while I thought that the toxic breath might be the end of the realm knight, I managed to do 0 wound with the toxic breath. But then my general killed his BSB in a challenge, and my giant did some wound to the realm, and he broke from combat. I pursue, and that's where we decided to stop because this unit broke. Was cut away. I pursue this direction. He has only that left. The rest doesn't matter at all. Only that left. It's not going to be enough. He can charge me. Most likely I will hold and then counter charge and kill him. So basically that's I'm going to win the old ground for the remaining turn because I have enough scoring unit. Has now only 1 and I have at least 2, so I'm going to win it 5 and 6, and there is no way with Sergeant and 2 characters that they can really push Bastion, Overlord, Giant and so on. So that's basically after the pursue and before we resolve that combat, but as you can see. And also the shooting did some wounds, so there's not so many of them left, so they're probably unable to break them, which strike hard, and then I have a good counter charge here, can probably break that. And that's more or less the end. So we elected to stop here. It was getting late and we saw what we wanted to see. What can I say on the post-game analysis? So quite hard to analyze because the trap did not hit directly during 3 turns and one of them misfired. I think that was huge in the matchup. I felt uncomfortable. I found openings on the flank that my opponent gave me. But I think some mistake on his part. But I definitely felt uncomfortable. I had to make a flea trick in the left, which is a good sign, a sign that you are not good in the matchup actually, because you shouldn't do that with ID, in my opinion, or not so early. So I felt here it was a bit strange. My deployment could have been better. I should have changed, for example, Overlord with Incarnate definitely would have been way better. Turn 1, King of Equitaine. Good aggression. Turn 2, yeah, punish him with Giant. I think he was a bit naive to felt into the trap. And then turn 4, yeah, when I got double flank on the Realm, I think was going to be huge trouble for him. The Naiad caused me a lot of issue on my Anointed, so I was not able to clean them effectively. And my Vassal provided me some very welcome chaff. Overall, I felt the matchup is quite complicated on all the ground. Regarding deployment, I think what I could have done better is Incarnate on the right, my Troik Anointed on the left, because I think here flanking unit is really good, but I don't need necessarily the Giant. I think it's enough to provide with something that can charge far away, and that is mobile. So I think the Anointed can definitely do that. And then put my monsters in the middle to block anything from the Naiad. Also, the Giant have very good match against his infantry. My Overlord is very good against his characters, so I felt that would have been a way better counter deployment. Guys, that's all for this battle report. Thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you soon for another practice game. Bye.